So, my name is Paul Aubry. I'm a composer based in Montreal, and I'll be showing you some music I did for the game Station to Station. A big part of the work in this project was to arrange the music into 4 different layers. So that's what I'll be covering in this video. So here we start with layer 1. So this layer is gonna activate as soon as you connect your first buildings, your first 2 buildings together. The music's gonna start. So before that, it's just sound effects. It's just an environment. What I went for is that the track had to be a full length track with a very simplified arrangement, but it still had to feel like a full track in some way. So the approach I went for is just to make it feel almost like I'll call it like the piano solo approach, where you listen to a piano solo album and it's gonna like there's one instrument and it sounds full, but it's only one instrument, so it might sound soft. So there I tried to put not too many instruments and just make it feel like, you see, like if I can play this here. So you just have like a piano, a shaker, and a few guitars playing. Trying to have like just a base of rhythm instruments, very soft, very smooth, and then melodies on something smooth too. Like I often use Celesta instruments to make melodies. Sometimes just on mandolin too, just a single note in some other track. Then we go with layer 2. This is when you get a little more into a certain level. When you start expanding more and more, you maybe, I don't know, maybe halfway through, maybe a little less than halfway through a certain level, you're then gonna hear the layer 2 activate. So this layer, in comparison to, in addition to layer 1, where layer 1 is like the piano solo approach, like I said, then I have many soloists like flutes, cello, violin. I had a bassoon player, a clarinet player. So what I did mainly is to add those soloists into this layer section to make it feel like the arrangement of the music is flourishing with the map, if we can say it that way. Another very effective way to just add some depth and some just to make it noticeable. What I did, let's say with layer 1, just adding pads, like soft pads. I used a lot of cello pads. So this is layer 1, and just adding a pad like this was a very effective way to just make it noticeable. But if I add the whole layer 2, what I did in this one is that I made the piano play faster too. There's guitar strumming. So if I just mute the layer 2 and put it back, this is just layer 1 and layer 2. And then there will come the solo instruments. If I mute layer 2 again, so what's happening then with layer 3 in the game is that what we try to make the player feel is that he's doing something good, he's progressing, he's coming, like he's near the end of a level, he will complete it soon. So we wanted to add pace and momentum to the track. So that's why one of the best way that I found to do so at this point was, as you noticed during the previous layers, there not much percussion there, almost none. So one of the things, mainly the main thing that I used for layer 3 is to add lots of percussions, drums, a lot of faster attack instruments. So like you have lots of, like, depending on the track, but like strings, clarinet, and bassoon. They're gonna go like faster attack, staccato things to really add like some rhythm and some excitement. So if I put layer 1 and 2. And then at some point in the game, if you connect more buildings and things together, then you might hear this layer coming in while things are expanding. So there's like tambourine, there's a drum with brushes, there's little like patterns of woodwinds. There's also this drum that I use a lot in layer 3, which is like it's a brush drum, and it reminds me a bit of the sound of the train. So I wanted to use that just to make it feel like the train is moving forward. Just gonna put it back a bit. So like before, you hear the solo flute with this is layer 2 playing right now with layer 1. And another way to add like energy and excitement was to add the other soloists into this layer. So now you're gonna hear the violins, the cello, doubling the melody. Then finally we have layer 4 that's going to be on top of layer 1, 2, and 3. This is the celebration layer, the over-the-top layer where you mainly you finished a level, so it's like the celebration time and the ultimate momentum. At this point, when there's pads, there's soloists, like many soloists, there are drums and percussions. There's a lot of things going on in the mix. So and by the way, at some point when like layers are stacking up, like sometimes I had to mute things in lower layers to make it work, because sometimes it just felt a bit too crowded. So then when layer 4 was there, sometimes it was necessary too. So what do you put in layer 4 when there's so many elements? So the most important thing to do there to make it audible and to make it go through was mainly to get in the high end of the frequency, the frequencies. And these elements, this layer particularly, we wanted to have, it's always like layer 3, layer 2, and 1, they're arranged differently depending on the songs. It depends what the song's speed is, depends like what's the type of song. So it's not always the same exact formula, but for layer 4, it's the same exact formula. It's always the same sound. The sound always do. They mainly what they do is that they cover the whole songs with like harmonically, because again, this is a layer that you will hear during 10 to 15 seconds, and then it's gonna fade out again, because if you hear it all the time, it's gonna be counterintuitive, like it's gonna be too much. So the formula used all the time for layer 4 was choirs and mellotrons. A bit so you have this pad over here. It's covering every all the track, and there's subtle runs of bells. There's like cymbals going like to just push you forward. A bit of cymbals to fill it up a bit. There's like a choo-choo reference, like whistle. So with everything, that's what it gives with everything. So that's what you hear when things are going really well for you. So that's it. That's how I approached making the music for Station to Station. I hope you enjoyed the process. I hope you will enjoy the game. So thanks again and take care.